Honourable Member for Lindsay.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Today I rise to pay homage to the 130 innocent people who were murdered in France. The sympathies of the victims we must always remember, to their families, to their friends, to their loved ones. For me, I think one of the most powerful moments was the solidarity of the French people singing. These recent events in Europe, and indeed the world, demonstrate people are being seduced by an evil cult and commanding despicable acts and acts on innocent people. We must be vigilant. We must be tough. We must not be scared and run, nor should we be foolhardy or rash. Here in Australia, it has been horrifying and bewildering to know that there are people in our great country right now planning acts of violence in some twisted show of support for this horrific and violent organisation that is ISIS. It was scary today to see the New South Wales Deputy Police Commissioner Catherine Byrne confirm this fact. And while Australian police across all jurisdictions are doing an incredible job in preventing these senseless attacks, sadly, a few have slipped through the net. We call these people terrorists because that is what they are. I fear the label is being used by some as a badge of honour, some twisted justification that they have some political or religious cause to hide behind, that they have some right to murder innocent people. And let us be clear about this. They are not. They are not martyrs. They are not heroes. They are simply gutless. They are not justified through any twisted or religious calling, not to the Islamic faith, not to anything. They are seduced by ISIS and are simply pawns of this evil regime. They are servants of thuggery, rape, murder and torture. They have forgotten that sanctioning their evils on humanity only exposes them as imperfect, shows their teachers of what they truly are, vile and full of hate. Many Islamic people right through our community here in Australia have condemned these acts and have expressed their desire to want to live in a peaceful Australia, the Australia that many have immigrated to Australia, like most people here. So it's time for the Islamic community to continue being active, to ensure that radicalisation of their youth, radicalisation of young people who are perverted by the twisted and evil uses of ISIS no longer afflicts people and young people within their communities. And while many significant sectors of the Islamic community are indeed doing this, there are some senior figures that are still perhaps sending out confusing messages, and we need to be sure that this also stops. We all have an interest in ensuring that children are not radicalised. We all have an interest to ensure that any of these messages that happens on the internet, or people who see any acts where young people are being radicalised, that those children and those preachers that would do so are rapidly reported to all local security agencies to ensure not only the peace and freedom of our communities, but also the young people that are being perverted by this twisted cult. We must keep our communities safe. We love the freedom and safety that we have in Australia, and it's important that we protect that. Many Muslim people don't want to see their young people killed. They don't want to see their young people going off for a cause that stands for nothing but evil. 1 in 5 Australians are mad enough. 1 in 5 Australians mad enough to travel to Syria or Iraq in these ways will end up dying. Calls for unilateral action to defeat ISIS really are not realistic. In fact, many ways, this is marching to the tune of ISIS, to drag countries one by one into a world war. The peoples of the world must work together. We must work swiftly, smartly. We must work to defeat this cause. We must ensure that our actions are measured and calculated, that we attack those that would choose to attack us. But Deputy Speaker, I think we need to not allow this hatred to inflict us, because at the end of the day, we need to think about the freedoms that we have here, what we fight for, what it's about. It's about our democracies. It is about our freedoms. I love the French words of liberté, égalité, and fraternity. I think it's important because we must protect our liberty. We must protect our freedoms. This is what we fight for. It is important that we fight for our values. If they don't want to join us, then perhaps they should find somewhere else to live. But really, freedom stands up for itself. And Deputy Speaker, we must ensure that our countries are free, our children are safe, and that ISIS is ultimately defeated. Thank you.